So we got the return of Roman Reigns here. The OTC, or the OTC1, makes his return here. I don't really know what OTC1 stands for. Original Tribal Chief 1. Regardless, Roman Reigns made his return here in the main event between the Usos and the Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. They announced this match here as the main event, and obviously there's been a lot of things going on as far as Jey Uso goes, and as far as Jey Uso is concerned, because recently they've been teasing the kind of the fact of Jey Uso this is a more stern, a serious version of Jey Uso. No longer the yeeting type, almost tribal chief like as far as Jey Uso goes, and that was kind of instilled into him by Roman Reigns all those weeks ago before the Clash in Paris show. But regardless, Roman Reigns came out here and aided them, the Usos, against Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. So now we kind of have unofficial confirmation as to what the match is potentially for Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel, because he is advertised on the poster, on the promotional poster. He is advertised on that poster. And my best guess is, obviously we saw him here really hit the chair numerous amount of times over Braun Breaker, and obviously we've done Roman against Bronson. That's been done already, and Roman obviously got the win there with Bronson. So my best guess situation here is that it's going to be Braun Breaker against Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel in Perth, Australia. And there was also a nice little moment there at the end of the match after the Usos got the win there. There's a moment there between Roman and Jey where Roman is kind of almost giving Jey Uso a pep talk here, kind of reminding him like to smash them all. This is your show. Take what you want. Take what you need. And in the background, you see Jimmy Uso kind of give this look of like disgust, because in a sense he kind of knows that Jey Uso is going down this path once again of potentially being corrupted by Roman Reigns once again. So this is no longer really Jey Uso and LA Knight and Jimmy Uso. It's now I guess you could say the original, the OG bloodline, because this is what it is essentially, right? It's Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, essentially corrupting Jey Uso once again, with Jimmy Uso kind of on the sidelines, not knowing really what to make of this new version of Jey Uso. He's obviously got years under his belt. He's got world championships to his name at this point. This isn't, right hand man Jey Uso. This is world heavyweight champion Jey Uso. So obviously I'm very intrigued as to what they're going to do with that. I don't really, foresee Jey going heel. If they did, that would take some massive balls, and actually it would be perfect, because imagine Roman Reigns for all those years manipulating Jey Uso. Now it's the opposite. Now it's Jey Uso manipulating Jimmy. Now it's potentially him manipulating Roman. I don't know, there's so many scenarios they could run down with that. But nonetheless, we have the return of Roman Reigns potentially taking on Braun Breaker at Crown Jewel. We also had the other notable thing here, which was the Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins promo back and forth here. Face to face here. It wasn't really, promoted that they were going to have a face to face here. But like I mentioned last week, Seth and Cody, whenever these two guys come together and have a promo back and forth, it literally just seems so natural to these guys, because there's instances with Seth especially where he comes out there and kind of just says the same thing about him being a visionary, him being the future. And Cody at times is guilty of this as well, where he comes out there and kind of gives the same politician type promo. But as far as these two guys are concerned, when they meet up, it's the fucking greatest thing ever. And that's what we had here tonight with, obviously Seth. With Seth saying the fact that this match is the most important match in the history of this company, because whoever wins this match potentially could alter the future of the WWE for the next 10 to 20 years. Eventually, Cody Rhodes comes out here and calls out Seth's bluff. He tells him, I don't really think that this warrants the future of the industry here. He mentions the fact of, WrestleMania 40 and how these two guys were potentially almost friends, and how maybe in 10, 20 years from now, it may be Seth and Cody in the back in gorilla position, reminiscing about all their, fights, all their matches together that they had when they were rivals. And Seth makes a point. He says that he isn't Cody's friend. The only reason he helped him out at WrestleMania 40 is because he was the less of two evils between Roman and Cody. He says, I'm not your friend and I'll never be your friend. He also points out the Rolex watch, how that's kind of almost a physical embodiment of what he is, what Cody is, that Seth despises. And another point that Cody made that I forgot to mention here was the fact of Cody mentioned how, Paul Heyman, he introduced Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza. Was that a call that was made by Seth Rollins? He also said that the Bronze, they made an appearance on SmackDown with Paul Heyman. Was that also okayed by Seth Rollins, because he says that everything goes through him, but does it really? Kind of planting the seeds once again of maybe, Seth not being too confident in himself and maybe having the Oracle, Paul Heyman, there to kind of always back him up and bail him out. And eventually, there's a segment in the back with Paul Heyman and with Seth, where Seth just, says it with no bullshit. He says, I have to beat him. And Paul Heyman says, of course, you're Seth Rollins. You'll beat Cody Rhodes, no doubt. And Seth says, I have to beat him. Like, almost like making it a point, like, I have to beat this guy. There's no way I can lose this match. Now, I do believe that Seth is going to win this match at Crown Jewel. But now what I'm starting to think is the fact of, since they mentioned that Paul Heyman is kind of the actual guy that's running this whole vision thing, what if Paul Heyman recruits Brock Lesnar to end up costing Cody Rhodes the match at Crown Jewel, with Seth Rollins taking advantage of that? And that kind of adds more to the who's actually in charge here. Is it Paul Heyman? Is it the Oracle? Or is it Seth Rollins? We also had the match made official between Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and the Kabuki Warriors. They came out here. They ended up delivering the mist to Io Sky. And this match was made official for Crown Jewel in Perth. For me, it's kind of tough right now because at the very least, I could see them giving the win to Io and Rhea just because of how popular they are. Because it's like they just turned heel. Why would they just turn heel and then lose to Rhea and Io? But I don't know. We'll see what happens there. We also had LA Knight against Kofi Kingston. And one thing I noted as we had this match was, goddamn, the fall of LA Knight has to be studied because, I don't know, man. This guy, it seems like Triple H has really fumbled the bag with this guy, because when you're wrestling Kofi Kingston, that's kind of the kiss of death, because Kofi Kingston and the New Day, they're, the commercial break tag team here, because all the times they come out here, they cut promos during the commercial breaks. It's almost like they say, hey, fuck it, man, we don't have nothing for you, might as well go cut a promo during the commercial breaks. And LA Knight now is kind of in that vortex, and goddamn, it's so sad to see what's going on with him there. We also had Dominic Mysterio get the upset win against Rusev here. It was kind of a schmoz type win here. Like he beat him, but he didn't beat him clean. I don't know really who's the man who's going to take the IC title off of Dominic. You have a lot of potential challengers there. Once again, Rusev, maybe Ilya Dragunov, maybe Sheamus returns. I don't really know who the man is here, but whether Dominic loses the title relatively quickly or not, I mean, the makings are there for a massive babyface whenever WWE is ready to pull the trigger. And those were the major talking points that I wanted to address here as far as Monday Night Raw. Let me know what you guys thought of Monday Night Raw down below, and until next time, I will see all of you on the next one.